Hello, my friends. Welcome back, Painting with Harold, and we are back on the little landscape painting that we started last night, and it got rather lengthy, so we just took a break from it, and now we're back. And this side here, it's setting in just a little bit. So while it's tacking up, maybe not right now, but a little later on in the painting, when we get to a pretty decent point to be able to do it, probably going to come in here and do do a little bit of highlighting to kind of cover some things up. Let me see. If you didn't see the first video, then you don't know the colors. But to catch you up, they're titanium white, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, mountain mix, midnight black. I got dark sienna. I got Van Dyke brown, sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, and the evil bright red. We've been using several smaller brushes. We got a sketch going on up here. We sketched everything in. This side is going from here over. We're gonna work on and try to get it sketched in. Still got the grass to go and the little bank here with the water. I mean, this is it. Like I said in the other video, this is just a lot more detailed than doing a Bob Ross style where it's. I mean, this is still wet on wet, but not using the Ross technique or the Alexander technique the way they done it. This is it's just a little more involved. I mean, it's still not difficult. You can still do this kind of painting. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna go right into this color, and I'm gonna make up a new color. So I'm taking some of the mountain mix, and I want just a little bit of the sap green. Now my colors are a lot stiffer tonight than they were last night, so we'll probably end up using a good bit of thinner tonight, but either way we're gonna make it happen. All right, we want this mountain right here, or this part of it we're gonna have another tree come up, so we can start back up here at the top, and we'll come over from it right here, and we'll give ourselves a little room to work. But basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add to this overall effect here. And we got most of our trees already sketched out as to where they're going. And what I'm doing is, right here is I'm just marking where the trees are going to go. And this part of it will be covered up by the tree. Like I said, if you didn't see yesterday's video, then some of the stuff that I'm doing right now may confuse you. But if you saw yesterday's video, you know exactly what's going to happen here, because it's the same way we did this side. And we'll come down to here. This is also where we're going to start working with our lay of the land. We're going to put us a sort of a invisible type of landline in here. Now you won't get to see much of it. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to try to sell the illusion that it's back here. And by doing that, it should add to the overall look of the painting. Because if we don't get it exactly right, we can come back in there and manipulate the paint just a little bit and make it work out better. And we'll work a little of that dark color in there, and then a little over here, about like so. Our main goal is just to not let the paint look like it's running off the canvas. We want to keep things as straight as we can, and we're going to do a lot of that with the trees, and a lot of it with the grass that we're going to come back in here and put later. And then our cabin will have to be fixed because it's definitely not, that's not where it's going to stay. And we're going to have a line over here that's going to come up under these trees, and we kind of need it to define our lay of the land over here as well. Because what we're going to do when we come back in here with our grass is it'll help with the illusion too. Alright, I'm going to come across here. Probably, no, it's going to be a little higher than that, so probably here. Probably about like so. And so we'll bring this on down. Right in here. About like so. All we need back here is just a little color. We don't need an exactness of anything, because everything's gonna work out when we get to it. All right. Now, I am going to, I want to wash this brush. All right, now I'm going to take a clean, dry 1-inch brush, and just like we did on this side, I want to come over here, and I just want to pull up just a little bit. We don't have to pull up very high on this side, just enough to give it a little indication of some trees over here growing on this mountain or this hillside, because we have got several trees that's going to come out over here, so some of these will get covered up, but the ones that don't, we want the illusion that there's trees back here. And I'd say that'll help. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, I'll take me a paper towel now and knock some of this paint off the brush, and I'll just hang on to it for a minute. Then I want to pick up my number 6 fan brush. It's the same fan brush I was using yesterday. If you watched that video. If you didn't watch that video, it's just a number 6 fan brush. That, nothing really special. Just a good fan brush. All right. This tree is the one when we left off last night. I said I was going to have to re-highlight, and we will. We'll do that. But the first thing we need to do is I got to bring one down beside that one. So I'm going to come up here in my color again and just mix up a good dark color. Because when we come down in front of this color, things may try to disappear on us. So to prevent that from happening, pick up just a little bit of yellow and add in this color. Now it won't take much yellow at all. You still want it dark, but you want it just a little lighter than this color so we can see it. And we will see it. I mean, all right, let's come up about here with this one. And we'll come down. And we'll come down into here with it. All right, let's see, I got a few more little shorter trees that's gonna come in here. But right here and right here, I've got some of them taller trees that's gonna look like these. And then these are gonna be just kind of like little taller bushes. This one will look like these. Well, we'll just see what they all look like when we get to them. They're gonna be different down here. All right, now we want to come up here and touch. Well, let's get some. I need just a little bit of thinner because this paint's thick today. Leaving it out overnight, thickened up, and it's already thick when you start painting with it, so. It's really thick now. Alright. I'm going to start coming out with it. And just like yesterday, we're just going to make a few little up trees in here. Just to. And that's side to side. That's all it is. And push the brush up. Just push the brush up. And see, this color's a little lighter. So you can see where your bushes are actually, or your trees actually touching. See that? But now what I'm going to do when I come back in here to highlight this is I'm going to go back and add a little highlight on this one. But then I'm going to re-highlight this one to put it in front of it because I want it in front of it. And then the one right next to it, right here, I want it to come out just like so. But remember what I said, it's going to look like these. And we didn't do that with this same brush. And then this one is going to look like just like it. But we didn't do it with the same brush. So all of those that take a different brush, we're going to do them different. So we'll wait a few minutes on making them. And then we'll put one more about right here. It don't have to be real tall. But we'll add one more right there. And then we'll probably add one more right here. I think 4 look good back here. About like so. Make it a little taller. And we'll have twins right there. And then we'll have that one to do and these. Alright, so let's what's our next step here? What do we need to do first? I think a good idea would be to make those first. And if we're going to make them first, that means we're going to have to pick our filbert brush back up. We'll knock a little of that thinner out, but we'll save some of it too. We'll bring us a little more of the dark color in. A little bit of the light color, maybe pick up a little of the ochre. Just something to change the flavor up here. you always want to make a color change if you can. And by doing it with all these dark colors, it's just gonna add to the overall effect. All right, with that filbert brush, remember we come in and we just barely touch, and just barely touch, and you can do that for a pretty good ways down this tree. Then you can start going from side to side just a little bit. Let's see right there where it's dark, you can't even see what you're doing. But with that little bit of yellow ochre right there, you can make it out. I'm pretty sure the camera's not picking that up, but you can see it just a little bit. All right, then we'll do the same right here. Now a lot of this will come through when we come up here to highlight. When we start highlighting it, you'll see it a whole lot better. I have seen some people just come in there and do just a highlight color and make the tree appear. And if that's what you want to do, if you feel comfortable doing that, it will work. The reason I don't do it is because I tried it one time and I messed up bad. My tree looked deformed when I got done. It just didn't look right. So I try to stay away from doing that now. This one right here a little bit taller. And we're going to come up here and just start touching. We just don't want these trees to get real big back here. I mean, I know they're going to have a little size to them, but I don't want them real spread out, is what I'm saying. And then we'll bring that one down like that. And I think, all right, we're going to stop right there. And I'm going to pick up that little 3-inch fan brush we had out. If I can find it, there it is. Alright. Then I'm going to come over here, pick up a little of the thinner. Come right into my yellow. And my yellow's already got some green in it. But you can look at it, and if you don't think it's got enough green, you can add a little more. What we don't want to do right here, or what I don't want to do, is I don't want this tree to end up the same color as these trees. So bring that color up there and put it beside it. And if it looks like it's, if it's too close to tail, just come up here and, well, let's do it up here on the end. That way it can, if this color, see how much brighter that color is? Now we can get away with that. So we want to come right up here at the top of this one and just start right here. And we're just going to start re-highlighting this tree, just like so. We just want to touch here and there. We don't want to highlight the whole tree. We just want to, well, we may end up doing the whole tree. I don't see what it could hurt. I just think it'd look better skipping around. It'll look more natural that way if it's got a good amount of dark showing through it, and that way it's yeah, I like that a lot better. To me, that just looks more 3D-ish, because you can see some of the dark, some of the light that was already on it, and then this even lighter color. And then right here, On the new one we just put in, I'm going to come here and touch. And touch. And this is the same kind of tree. It's an up tree. So keep your limbs where they're going up. And then come down into here and just kind of concentrate on doing the middle a little, because we're going to bring that other tree over in front of it. And you might can get out to right here maybe. Just a little bit out there. You don't get much out there, but maybe a little. About like so. Now it looks like it's behind this tree. And that's what we wanted. Alright. I'm going to take this color that we already got on here, and I'm going to come over here and pick up a little of the yellow ochre now, and just mix it in to the same color, because we want a little different color green now. More along these lines, but it don't have to be exactly that same color. We just want it to be a little different. Alright. Once you get this color made, just squeeze as much off of the fan brush as you can. I mixed it with a fan brush, but we're not going to put it on that tree with a fan brush. We'll take this fan brush that's got that color on it, we'll hang on to it for a little bit. We're going to put that color on with a real small filbert brush, a number 2 filbert brush at that. So we want to take and put just a little thinner on it, not much. And then we want to come right into this color. Now if you've seen this technique work yesterday, you know how we do it. We'll put just a little paint on it, come up, and just start touching real light. Just real light. And what this filbert brush will do is it'll give you that look of, like over here with the down leaves. And then when you get down to where this other tree is, now you can get a little wider with it, but don't get too wide, because these trees are going to be, they're designed to be skinny trees. When they were born, that's what their goal in life was to be a little bit skinnier than the other guys. And you're gonna go to picking up the dark color, and when you do, don't let that scare you, because you can just fade it on out into dark down here, because these trees are gonna they're going to disappear into the darkness. Right now, everything's going to be kind of dark looking until we come back with a final highlight color. But we'll do that once we figure out where the sun's going to be. And as of right now, we don't know where all the sun's going to be. So, we'll wait and see. Now, when you go to using this thinner, also, make sure you don't get it too thin, because number 1, it'll run on you, but number 2, it'll also thin down the color that's behind it if you got too much on your brush. So you can come down here on a paper towel every few minutes or so and just kind of knock that dark color out. Now we don't want to knock the dark color out when we get too far down, but on the same token, we don't want it to get turned dark too quick neither, like way up here. You know, if it turns dark when we get a little lower, well, that's fine, but not right now. See, right in here is fine for it to turn dark, because remember, we got some more trees coming up right here. So coffee, so I guess now we just have to go it out. Alright, I'm going to come up here to this one. I'm going to start again. So you can see how all these trees just look like they're running together. But the reason they look like that is because the way we built them. Now I don't really care for the way this one looks right here, so let's do it like this. I'm gonna pick up just a little of this dark color on my round brush. And I'll come up here and make it a little taller. Like so. And then I'll add a little action right up here, like that. Then I'll clean this brush. Then I'll go back and get my highlight color. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Yep. Alright. Then we got one more of these to do. And I think since it's out there by itself out in the open, I'm going to pick up just a little bit more yellow this time. Because if it's going to catch any sunlight out there, it'll be the first one to catch it and knock it off most of these back here. So I'll start right here and gotta get that a little bit more thinner. I don't think we're at a point of having to add no white to nothing yet, but yeah, about like that. About what we're looking for. Yeah, that's got a little more yellow in it. So, like I said, if one of these is gonna pick up any sunlight right now, it'll probably be this one. But even at that, it's still picking up dark. We'll just keep working him on down in there till he gets where we want him. Now, if you've never made evergreens with a filbert brush, it's just a series of taps, little small taps that form these down bristles in your tree. That's all it is. Just a little series of taps. Alright, then we'll stop that one right there. Alright, let's come back over into our ochre color now. And we'll come back here and we'll add a little more of this ochre color over on this tree. Just to give it a little bit of body over here. Whoa, too much body. I don't need that much body. About like so. Just here and there. Y'all see how I did that? I did not mean to let that happen. That was a miswhack. Alright. Now we'll come back and pick up just a little bit more of the yellow color. right here, because I think it'll be a little brighter out here. Because I really feel like this is going to be the spot that the sun really hits first. Outside of the mountain, that is. Yep, about like so. And then we'll bring this on down a little bit, because we got another tree going right there that'll cover up some of those bushes. You really have to set back and look when you're doing these to kind of ensure that your trees are showing where you want them to show, and that your color's where you want it. Because you can get lost real quick in here. But now don't sit there and piddle it to death to the point to where it just starts looking like a whole little series of those brush marks either. I'm just going to show you something. I don't know if y'all can see it on the camera or not, but see right here how I got a big blob of that green highlight color. Now to fix that, you just come over here and pick you up a little bit more of your dark and just come right back in under it and just put you a little bit more dark in there, and that'll take a lot of that away. And then you can come on the opposite side of it and like over here on this side, and add a little color like right in here, and it'll just look like it's filled right back in. Alright, so now I'm going to wash this number 2 brush, this little filbert, and I'm going to pick up, or I'm going to grab the little, what did I do with it? The little fan brush. Yeah, this one. This is a smaller number 3, or smaller number 3. I'm going to put it in just a little bit of thinner. And then I want to take me some sap green and bring it somewhere separate on my canvas. And I want just a little bit of Indian yellow in it. And I want to mix these colors together on my brush. And this ain't much Indian yellow at all. It's just a little. And this is going to give me like kind of like an olive drab looking green, a dark dull green. And with this color, I want to come right here, and I want to just make a mark up into these trees just a little and come down, and I want to do that all the way across, kind of like you do in the tap down trees, but keeping them real fluffy like and right next to each other. Keep in mind you got a roof of your house coming down over here too, and you don't want to forget that. So, but now when we get to that part, we'll fix all that, so don't worry too much about it. But with all these trees right here, you just want this color over here and a little bit of height up into these trees, because once this color sets here a little bit, we're going to come back and we're going to put a highlight in here that's going to make them look like way more like trees than what they do right now. Trust me. And they'll look like they standing right in front of these pines right here, or these evergreens when we get done. That's what they'll look like. Just like that. Now I know that looks funky. I know it does. But trust me, once we go to highlighting over here, it'll take shape. Now the reason I came on down with my highlights is because I didn't know exactly how high I was going to carry these trees. But another thing, look what it did right in here. It picked this color up and made it a little bit lighter right in here. So that's going to help us in the long run. Alright, now it is time to go back up here in our dark color again. That's the green and the mountain mix and the midnight black. We'll even put a little phthalo blue in it this time. And maybe that'll come out here and give us a little bit of like a real dark blue, almost a black. We can add a little Van Dyke brown in that and help that, because I want a real dark color, kind of like the background, but not quite as much, because these trees that we're fixing to build here, like this one's just going to come right up above it just a little bit, and I want you to be able to see them. But they're going to be made like these trees to an extent, but they're going to be taller, number one. And then this one will be actually in front of that one over there. So, and then you can see that. I mean, even though both colors are dark, and it's dark on dark right there, you can still see it. Then I want to come right here beside this one. I want to make another one. Same way. All I'm doing is just tapping straight up on my brush like this, just straight in, and pushing some limbs out to the left and some out to the right. I'll probably put, I don't know, probably 3 of these in. And then how we end up having to highlight these will all depend on which one we want in the front, which one we want in the back. Because this tree we're fixing to do next is going to be, it's going to be a good bit, well, that's going to be a good bit taller, and that one and this one, all of these 3 will be pretty much taller than, well, they will be. They're going to be taller. We'll kind of stagger them over there, but even at that, they'll still be taller. All right, I'm going to pick up a clean number 6 brush now. And the color I want to do this with is going to be probably just straight sap green and a little phthalo blue. I want like a bluish green over here for this. And you can always take your knife and bring a little cad yellow over here and just kind of add the cad yellow a little at a time, because you don't want this color to go too light on you, but you do want it to be a real pretty green. You could If you had it, you could probably just use phthalo green. I didn't put any out today. I probably should have, and just went straight phthalo green right here, but I didn't. Now I'm gonna come down over here, just like so, over all of this, and I'm gonna come all the way down to about right in here where we had the stop made at. Then I'll go back up here, I'll get a little more to color. And if you end up having to make some more of this color, well, you know how to do it. Alright. I'm going to come back over here now. We're going to make some more of the up trees. Start right here with a little touch. And just start real lightly with the up. And just work them down. A little to the left, a little to the right. A little to the left, a little to the right. And again, don't let it worry you that you can't see a lot of it, because remember, the it's really going to show up in highlight. That's when they really start popping, is when you get to highlighting them. So anytime you're doing evergreen trees and you're having to do them up against a background like that, and you're like, oh man, I can't see that. Well, don't panic, because it's highlight is really important on these when you start highlighting them. Because see, now we know we're going to have a top up here that's going to be showing. Like right here. We're going to come in here and we're going to, well, let's make it just a little bit taller. Just a little bit. We'll come up here. We know we're going to have a little touch right here. And then we know we're going to have to start coming out and down. Out and down. But see, once you get down into the dark, that's so dark you can't really see them that good, well, don't worry about that, because we're going to have to separate these two anyway. And when we go to separating them, we'll put them either side by side, or we'll put them one in front of the other. And we're going to do every bit of that with highlight. Every bit of it. Even that little bush that we just covered over right there. When we come back up there to make it, you'll see it'll take on a completely different look. And I'm not 100% crazy about how wide we got right there, so I'm going to make this one even a little bit taller. Then I'm going to come back up here and start over on it. Then that way it makes a little more sense when we get down that far, for it to be that wide. Yep, a little bit. And then just bring it right on down into the color, just like so. Alright, now I'm going to wash this brush. I don't really like the way it's got the ferrules off just a little bit, and the bristles bend in the middle. If you got several fan brushes, you know some of them make little better grass brushes, and some of them make little better tree brushes. Well, this is not a real good tree brush. It's kind of bent in the middle. I wish I realized that before I started with it. But we're gonna get by with it. We're gonna make it work. I got another one over here. If it don't work, I'll open a new one. We're gonna figure it out. We ain't gonna let it beat us. I promise you that. All right, now we'll pick up a little more of the phthalo blue, a little more of the sap green. Just a little. And then we'll, y'all can still see this. I want to pull this up to where y'all can see it. Okay. On this one right here, I'm gonna bring it way up. I'm gonna make it this tall. I'll just come down. Because I'm gonna show you, this is gonna be, we may end up doing 2 of these, I don't know yet. But this is gonna, probably will. This is gonna be a kind of a different type of tree too. I'm gonna come up here on this one and I'm just gonna use the corner of the brush and I'm gonna touch just straight up and down like this. And I wanna keep this tree full, kind of all the way down. And I wanna make little marks up here. It's gonna kind of look like an up tree a little bit, but at the same token, it's also gonna take on a different effect. It's gonna look more like a what's those trees called? I can't see it now. Topiary. It's going to look more like a topiary type tree. It's going to look like these trees, but way taller. Way taller. May just get away with this one. I think we will. But I do know I want it behind this pine that's going to be here, so we'll have to do that in a little bit. Now I'm not as concerned with the height of it. It can be tall, that's fine. I mean, even if it wants to go off the whole canvas, that's fine too. I just want it taller. And if this ends up being the color of it all the way down, we'll figure out a way to deal with that. I kind of like that color. And it turned that color because we ended up with a little white in there. So we'll keep that white in there if it wants to work to our advantage. But we can still come in here with another kind of highlight color if we have to. I don't think it'd be ugly if we did. We can always figure something out. I just don't want this white to be the highlight color. So we can always pick a little of our color up and come back and tone it down if we have to. About like so. further it comes down. Now don't forget, we want this one to be behind this one, so don't get over too far with your color over there, because it's pretty thin. In fact, it had to be to cover this up. Alright, we got a little bit of the dark showing right there, I like. Alright, then we'll get out here on the edge. We'll bring a little of the dark right in here now. Darken it up some. We don't need it